How's it, everybody? Welcome to another episode, our second episode of Unpack the Track, where we go behind the scenes and unpack for you the separates that make up one of our productions. And we're busy with the second episode of Neville D's Nobody Like Jesus, the JK remix. And in our first episode, we showed you how we put the beat together. Now we want to start looking at the vocals, and we'll come back and look at some of the special effects that we used. So I'm just going to go track by track on the vocals, starting with this one. So this comes from the original version of Nobody Like Jesus, and you can see I just did a little stutter there at the beginning, just to give it that remix vibe. And then I ran this signal through one of Logic's guitar amps. It's a stack. Like to start off with a preset and then tweak the preset to test, especially when it comes to effects. So there's a gate on there, running through a pedal board with some high drive on that treble, on that signal. And then I've also got it going through one of Logic's amps. So it's very crunchy. That's the vibe. Okay, once we had that up, and that was CJ, of course. Once we had that up, this is from one of Neville's scratch tracks, one of his outtakes in at Blueberry Studios, when Kurt gave me the final, all the takes. It included, just a whole lot of outtakes and rough takes and scratch tracks that we were never going to use in the final take, warming up the voice, testing the mic, that kind of stuff. But there was some gold in there, especially if you're working with great artists. And so I found this and I chopped it and decided to throw it in here. Let me show you something we did there with the panning. Automated the pan, so you can see it's moving from left to right there. And then I've got some guitar amp on there as well, and it's also going through some distortion, and of course there's lots of delays on it. So it just makes for a nice rising effect. Most of this was Neville's natural crescendo, so I didn't even need to automate the vocal rise there. Okay, so once we had that done, we started adding lead vocals. Again, this is Neville doing a bit of a crescendo. And all of that together just helps to make that intro bold. Let's look at what we did with his vocals. Nobody can love me like Jesus. Nobody can love me like Jesus. So, because, this was a new recording, not just a remix, we wanted to make it sound a little bit different. So this one is a lot crispier, brighter than the studio version. And you can see we boosted quite a bit in the 7.5 K range there, just to make it crispy and to make it cut through the mix. Okay, so and that's essentially the same track that we used throughout Neville's parts. Okay, so let me show you what we did with CJ.
It's the remix. Let's go. Yeah. No man, no star, no fan club. No.
So I'm using a similar kind of EQ curve there, just to give it that same crispiness, that same kind of brightness.
It's the remix. Boast the name, hotter than a flame. We taking over like.
And then I cut that section of his vocal, put it on a separate track, and treated it with some
Pinky and the brain.
Treated it with some auto-tune, Logic's pitch correction, which is there.
Pinky and the brain.
Essentially the auto-tune. And I obviously put it in the key that I wanted, and I also made it sing notes that I wanted. He wasn't singing there, he was just rapping. I'll play
Pinky
it for you.
and the brain.
That's what he did.
Pinky and the brain.
With the auto-tune on it, it gives it that effect. And then you can hear a little bit of like turntable style pitch drop. It's called a power down. Just a little bit, just to, you know, enhance that remix experience. That's the vibe there. Okay, next vocalist in the mix was Mr. Lloyd Cele. So, show you what we did with Lloyd's vocals.
Oh, yeah.
This guy can sing.
Nobody showed.
Decided to put quite a lot of reverb and delay on his vocals, but I decided to dampen the delay so you can hear.
Oh, yeah. Nobody.
Can hear as the delays fall there, they're quite dampened. I don't have a lot in the very high frequency range.
Oh, yeah.
And the reverb is also quite damp.
Nobody shows favor like Jesus. Nobody.
This is not a Logic reverb. This is Waves Renaissance verb, odd verb. And that was the vibe. What did we do on this one?
Nobody.
Added some auto-tune. Neville, the artist, did want a lot of auto-tune on the vocals, and so
Nobody.
as much as possible, we added that auto-tune. Okay, next up was Mr. Booger Two Shoes Kabelo. So let's check it. What we did with his vocal.
Like a city on
So I asked Kabelo to do just a little preempting.
Booger 2. Cheers. Booger.
I mean, this is a legend. You know, we want people to know
Booger 2. Cheers. Booger.
the legend is here. And then
Like a city on the hill, we go in public with the gospel.
I'm going to come back in the next video and show you what I did with all the effects, particularly this. For now, you can see I chopped out those sections, and that was at his request. He wanted some cool turntable style effects on the long notes of his rap, and so I obliged.
Check.
You have to oblige when the legend speaks, you know. Again, the same kind of crispiness on the EQ there, just to give it that nice, bright commercial sound. And then I'll show you what we did with the overdubs. Well, not the overdubs, the ad-libs. Yeah, man. So obviously we pitch shifted this quite considerably. 9 steps, 9 semitones. And then I filtered these dubs. So we have three ad-libs. So we've got, which is essentially a copy of his mains.
Coming through potent like
Okay, and then his overdubs. Didn't want to have the overdubs, the ad-libs big and in your face. So I panned it out left and right, but also rolled or filtered out quite a bit of the low end with the high pass filter there. Cool.
It transcends music, whether it's sick.
And then the rest of his vocals pretty much the same as the first part of his verse there.
No.
Uncle Lloyd came back for some more. Oh, that smooth, chocolatey smooth. This guy.
Hear you say, yeah. No. Ooh.
But it's on the same channel, so the effects are all the same.
Yeah.
Same kind of dampened reverb and delay vibe. Then Mr. Neville D decided that he wanted to add some vocoder. Now I'm going to come back in the effects video, the third episode, and show you what we did with these effects. But let me show you what we did with the next vocalist, Mr. Brian Temba. Okay, so let's solo that. So I use the same kind of delay tactics, delay tactics, as I did on Lloyd's verse and on a little bit of Neville's. Pretty much the same kind of vocal effects chain. It's remix territory, so a lot of delay and a lot of room reverb. And then I used, for Brian's vocal, I used another EQ, this time from Waves, in addition to Logic's EQ. So I didn't boost, on Logic's EQ, I didn't boost the upper frequencies as hard as I did with the other vocalists, Lloyd and Neville. But with Brian, I decided to use 2. So with the second EQ, I pushed it roughly the same amount. So about a 1.5 boost in the same frequency, maybe a little bit higher. This looks like around 10K. And so that just adds the same kind of crispiness. But I mean, his voice is a little bit different. He's got a unique kind of character going on in his voice. And so we wanted to make that sound unique. But the room, the reverb, the delay feels the same. And this guy, I just want to say for the record, this man is not human. This man is not a human being. He's kind of a meta-human. He's a meta-human. Let's show you some more of his vocals. Sure. Check out some of our videos in the 6 remix lessons, previous blog posts. I think in part 2 of those 6 remix lessons, you'll see this guy lay down some of these high vocals. Let me play you some of those parts. Those were essentially the harmony parts. Obviously, we put a lot of auto-tune on there. If I put the tuning off, this man is singing in key. It's not like we put the auto-tune on to fix him. We just put it on for effect, but this man can sing. Sure. And here's one more. Right, and then we put the same kind of auto-tune effect on all 3, but obviously separately. So the auto-tune treats each vocal separately. So nice. Similar kind of delay, but not a lot of reverb on that. We left the reverb on the lead vocal so that can sort of put you in that space, and then this just serves to accentuate what the lead vocal is doing. Vocoder. I'll talk about the vocoder in the next video. Okay, so that was basically all of the lead vocals. I'll come back, like I said, in the next video. I'll unpack for you what we did on the vocoder and also on some of Kabelo's lead vocal effects. And there was another bit of effects that we did, which had a lot to do with filtering, and I'll show you how we put that together, and you'll catch a glimpse of some of our workflow. But there you have it, Unpack the Track Part 2, Episode 2 of Neville D's Nobody Like Jesus, the JK remix. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please like this video. Please share this video on all your social media profiles. Email your friends, tell them about Exilic music. Yeah, thank you so much. Exilic music, exilic.co.za.